Hello and welcome to this video tutorial on administration functions. We are going to cover the user's functionality. So this is a functionality that allows the administrators to manage SMT access for other people. So the administrators at national level can view and manage access for all users across the country, and administrators at subnational level can view and manage access for users within their subnational area. So in this video, we are going to see how we do that. So there are different things that we are going to cover. The first is like viewing and understanding the user list, then creating new user accounts, managing user access requests, editing user accounts, and deactivating user accounts. So I'm going to log into the SMT. I proceed to log in, and I'm going to access with my account, and I'm going to select country admin. And as you can see here, as country admin, I have access to this users tab. Okay, so this is the one that we are going to be reviewing. So the first thing, viewing the user list. So it's simple. When you come here to the users tab, automatically you will see this table where you can monitor the list of users that have access to the SMT in your location. If you are a country admin, you are going to see the full list of users that have access to the SMT in your country. If you are a subnational administrator, you are going to see the list of users in your location, for example, in your region. Here you can see that there are different tabs. So the first is the active. So by default, you are going to see only the list of users that currently have access to the SMT. If there are some users that have become inactive, they will display here in the inactive tab. Here you have the full list of users, which is adding the active plus inactive. And we also have the users that are pending access. So the access has been requested, but is not being approved yet. At the moment in this country, we have a very short list of users. We only have 4, but if you're a country administrator, you can see that at some point maybe you're going to have hundreds of users. So you have the option to filter and search here. So you can filter by first name, last name, you can filter by email, by role, or you can search for a specific level. So for example, level 1, this is going to be like your central location. Level 2 is going to be your regions. If you have some users at district level, they are going to show at the level 3. So you will be able to search and filter for users in specific locations, or also you can filter by date. So either the date of registration, this is the date of like user creation, or the last login date. If you have users with more than one role, you can use here this expand and collapse button. You click on it and it will open the details of your user. So in this case, when it's closed, we can see that this user has 2 roles, but you cannot see which roles. So you click here, it expands, and you can see it's a store operator and it's a country admin, and then you will be able to see the details of that specific user. And finally, you can also export the list into like an Excel file. So if you click here, the export button, this automatically is going to give you an Excel file. And this Excel, now you can use it for whatever purpose you need. You can share it, you can edit it, and so on. It's important to understand that what you are exporting is what you see on the screen. So right now I was on the active screen, so I have exported the list of active users. But if I come here, for example, to access requested, and I click export, this is going to export the list of users that are pending approval. Okay, so this is the basics of understanding the user list. The next thing we are going to see is how to create new user accounts. So administrators are responsible for creating accounts for other users within their own country. And this includes subnational administrators that can also create users within the respective locations. So the process is quite simple. Once you are logged in as administrator and you are here into this users tab, you can simply click create new user and a new window is going to open. So in this new window now, you need to complete all the details of the user, such as the first name. You can enter the last name as well, and the email address. It is very important here that you verify that the email address is correct, because this is going to be the username that the person will need to utilize to access the SMT, and this cannot be edited later. So I'm just going to enter the email. For example, and then you need to assign a role to that person. So here you have this menu in which you can select what type of user you want to assign. So you can create another country administrator, you can create a subnational administrator, a store operator, or some of the read-only users. So let's say that this person works with me at the national level and I want to give her access as a country admin. So I select country admin, and automatically it's going to ask me to select the geographical region and the country. Since I am a country administrator, I cannot create users in other countries. So in reality, I'm only going to be able to select my own country. Once I finish, I have the option to just submit and finish the process, or I can add a second role to that person. So let's say that the person also works at the national vaccine store. So in that case, I will click on add role. Now I select the store operator. By default, it's giving me now the region and the country, and it's going to ask me to select at which level the person is going to work. In this case, we're saying this person is working at the national level, what we also call level 1. So I select my level, and now I have finished. I can now submit. Okay, as you can see here, the user is active. So it means that the moment I click submit, the person is going to have access to the SMT. If I want to create a user now, but I don't want them to have access yet, I can also create it as an inactive user and activate it at a later stage. For the email alerts, it's the same. By default, the email alerts are active. So it means that the moment I click submit, the person is going to receive an email notification saying that an account has been created for them. If I don't want the person to receive any email notification, I can also unclick there. So now I have finished creating my user. I click submit. And now I see that my list of users have gone from 4 to 5, and I have here now this new user showing on my list. The next thing that we are going to cover is how to manage user access requests. So I have just explained that when you are creating a new user, you can only create users within your own country. However, we have one specific type of user, which is the country admin read-only, that have the ability to have access, read-only access of course, to more than one country at the same time. So how do we manage that? So for example, if there is a staff from UNICEF regional office or WHO regional office that is providing technical support to multiple countries at once, and they need to have access to the SMT reports of multiple countries at once. It's possible for the global administrators to provide country admin read-only access to that person to, let's say, like 2, 3, 4, 5 countries. However, it is the responsibility of the local administrator in each country to approve or reject that access. So if you're a country admin, you will have the responsibility to review any access request that has been created from the global level. You can discuss with your team or with the EPI team at the country level whether you want to provide access to that specific person from outside the country, and then you can approve or reject that access. So when a global administrator requests access to your country's SMT for a regional user, all the country administrators are going to receive an email notification with the information. On the SMT platform, you are also going to see that by coming to here, the access requested. So here you are going to have a list of all the users that are pending approval. So you can review the list. You can discuss with the other country admins whether you want these people to have access to your SMT or not. And then from here you have on the right the action buttons. So if there is a user that you decide that you don't want this person to gain access to the SMT, you can simply click reject. Are you sure you want to reject this user? Yes. And automatically this user is going to completely disappear from your list. Now let's imagine that there is a user that you want to approve. You want them to provide them access to your reports, for example. So the process is the same. You are going to come to the actions column, but you are going to click approve. Are you sure you want to approve the user? You click yes. And the moment this user is approved, is going to move from the access requested tab to the active tab. So you can see here the user has been approved successfully, and now my list of active users has increased. Now I have 6 active users. This is the new one that I have just approved right now. The next topic that we're going to cover is how to edit the user accounts. So once a user has been created by an administrator, it is possible to modify some of the details by using the editing functionality. And this process can be carried out by the same user who created the account or by any other user with admin rights. So on the user list, you just need to locate the user that you want to edit. And on the right side of the screen, there is this actions column. There is the edit button that you can click, and this will open a new window. So from here, you can edit any details of your user. So let's imagine, for example, that we have made a mistake. We gave a store operator role to this user, but this user should not be a store operator. So we can basically come here and remove the access, or we can simply edit the role. So let's say that we don't want this person to be a country admin. We want them to be a country admin read-only. Or let's say that we have made a mistake with the name and we want to change the name of the user. So we can make any edits that we want, with the exception of the email address. So the email address is the username. So once a user has been created and is associated with a username, this field cannot be edited. So we have edited our user. Once finished, I just need to click update. The changes will be saved, and now I can see that my user with the new details, new name, new role, and everything has been saved and is showing correctly on my list. And finally, we are going to see how to remove access to users. So it is possible that there is one member of staff that has been working with the SMT, and that person leaves the job, moves to another location, whatever the reason. You don't want that person to have access to the SMT anymore, and you want to delete the user account. What happens is that user accounts in the SMT cannot be deleted. So once a user has been created, it's going to stay there forever. This is for traceability purposes. So once those users have registered transactions in the SMT, if we delete the user, that traceability will get lost. So we will not be able to see who has entered a specific transaction. So that's why there is another system of removing access, which is deactivation of users. So basically what we can do is the same as with the when we want to edit the details. We just locate the user that we want to deactivate. We come here, we click edit, and you can see here there is the active status. So basically we click that to make it inactive, and we simply update. Now my user has been removed from the list of active users. It's no longer showing here. If we go to the list of inactive, it's going to show there, and this user will no longer have access to the SMT. This person can try to log into the SMT, and they will receive a message saying that their account is inactive, they cannot access. So this is the way of kind of like deleting or removing access to a specific user that you don't want to be able to access the SMT.